Good morning, everyone.
Howdy.
Oh, a nice relaxing weekend, huh?
Yep.
Now we have to work Monday morning.
Yeah, I know. At least I did get some shooting done and another video put up on my Lane Beaver channel.
Yes.
So, had a little bit of recreating this weekend.
Yes. And thank you to all of our subscribers for watching and joining us. And welcome to our new subscribers. We hit 32,300, so
Cool.
that's really nice.
At least we didn't have to purchase any subscribers.
Yeah, we actually grow, we allow our channel to grow organically. So up
Yeah.
and down, those numbers are real.
Yep.
We didn't purchase any. Okay, so we got a few things to cover this morning, don't we?
I know. Once again, it's just as painfully easy.
Yes. And I want to thank Aurel. Hope I pronounced your name correctly. He has a YouTube channel that is in Croatian and Serbian. And I'm going to put the link down below. So if you know of anyone who speaks any of those type of languages, go check out his channel. And I want to thank him for the information he sent, because this is interesting. This is interesting, isn't it?
It's just another example of Watchtower plagiarizing, because this is what they've done throughout their history.
Yeah, so why don't we cover some of that history?
Yeah, why don't we?
Yeah. So the first thing is from the You Can Live Forever in Paradise on Earth, page 93. We all know this picture. And it's where the beautiful women are swimming and the bad angels are looking down and tempted. And many of us did not know, but that picture is a picture of a real woman. And Watchtower got busted for copyrighting that photo. Pascale Petit, who appeared in Playboy of November 1963.
Yeah. It's there again. It's a plagiarized photograph. And I find it interesting that when you go to chapter 26 in the You Can Live Forever in Paradise on Earth, they have a chapter entitled The Fight to Do What Is Right.
Well, they're just being honest, saying there's been a fight for them to do the right thing all along.
Well, that's why this is, so painfully easy to do.
Yeah. Now, she also appeared in the European sex comedy Frau Werten het in Grafen. The Live Forever book potentially infringed copyright, as it is a copy of an image that appeared on the cover of the July 23, 1960 Today magazine and the August 13, 1961 German magazine Stern. And I want to thank J.W. Fax for that information.
Yes.
Yeah. Now,
what's the next one?
The next one I'm going to put up, and this original picture was for a liquor ad, if I remember right, Johnny Walker. Now, I will put the link down below to the JWN, because they covered this years ago. But when it came to the bond volume, they had to change it, and this is what it is in our bond volume. But as you saw before, the original Watchtower had the same picture, and they got busted for that one.
Yep.
Now, this one, the 1994 Watchtower, January 15th, page 3, includes a photo of a woman kneeled and weeping over a loved one killed in the war. The picture is from a copy taken by Watchtower of an original photo residing in the Instituto Municipal de Historia, Barcelona. Whilst they attribute the institute, they do not give attribution to the photographer, Augustus Centellas Oso. Now, what's interesting about this is that the family, the heirs of that original photo, went after Watchtower in 2010 for copyright infringement on that photo. So you might be wondering, what the heck have they done now?
Well, there again, as I previously stated, this is just a few examples of something that Watchtower has done throughout its history. They've plagiarized photographs. They've changed the wording in their Bibles from the old silver sword to now what is the rusty shank. And I'm bringing attention to JW Updates in his video, where Tony Morris is explaining that they changed the wording in the scripture that Paul wrote about. Satan keeps transforming himself into an angel of light to now it reads disguises himself. And I just can't help but think how more appropriately this relates to Watchtower, how over the years they were a publishing company plagiarizing this stuff, disguising themselves as a religion, to where now they are a worldwide real estate conglomerate disguising themselves as a religion. So, hey, JW Updates, it all works for me because it all spells doom and gloom for the Watchtower Babel Crap Society, because this is their method of operation. They were a publishing company. They are now a worldwide real estate conglomerate disguising themselves as a Christian religion. It all works for me, guys.
Okay, now this is the information RL sent me. And I'll put the link down below so you can go check it out yourself. It is dated, it's on jw.org, dated July 4th, 2022, Ukraine. Update number 10. Brotherly love prevails amid ongoing crisis in Ukraine. Now, first I want to mention that the woman's name is very similar, so it may just be a lost in translation type deal. And on jw.org, they do give the photographer credit over in the right-hand side, as you can see, for the photo. Aris Messazzini, I think. But anyway, he is a Greek photographer, and you can go to Twitter, and he's there, Aris Messinis, and he has all of these photos. And so he is the one that took these photos, including the one on jw.org. Now, they may have bought the photo. I'm not saying they, plagiarized it, but it is copyrighted by this photographer, so I don't know if they, plagiarized it or not. But the point we wanted to bring out, is they're selling this. They have the same story, and it was also on the news, and it's plastered several different places, even a YouTube news piece. And I'll put the link down below to all of this so you can check it out. And, excuse me, and she's on jw.org telling her story. She comments, I was sleeping and a wall fell right next to my head. The air filled with dark, thick dust. Glass and stones were scattered everywhere. I thanked Jehovah that I was alive. Now this is what Jehovah's Witnesses do. If they have a near-death experience, then they thank Jehovah, right? We all know that. Local brothers and sisters came to see Sister Olena, and it's O-L-E-N-A, minutes after the explosion, including a brother whose own home was heavily damaged. Sister Olena continues, when the brothers arrived, they were speechless. I was encouraged by their presence. It was so nice that they were next to me. Okay, now remember this for when I cover in the news. The local brothers came to see her minutes immediately after the explosion of this missile explosion. Now, when you go click on the YouTube video that I'm going to have down below, and it's in Russian, but this is Elena, E-L-E-N-A. Like I said, it could just be a mistranslation in the name. She is telling her story of what happened. And you will see, these are neighbors helping her. And then the article where they have this exact same photo, it is in the rferl.org website, and I will have the link down below. And the name of the article is Like a Horror Movie. They suffer Russian bombardment. I'm not even going to try to translate the name of the city, but it's the exact same picture that is on jw.org, and it just says an elderly woman. Well, if you scroll down to the third picture, it's Elena Olovko, Holovko, was injured at a missile strike and is helped by a neighbor. So it's neighbors helping her in all of this. No mention of Jehovah's Witnesses. And wouldn't you think that when she was being interviewed at the time of this, she would say, "Thank Jehovah I made it," or "Thank all my brothers and sisters for helping me"? No.
Minutes after the missile strike. Remember that when you're looking at the photographs.
Yeah.
Minutes.
Yeah.
Fake news, people. Fake news.
Yeah. Now, RL was kind enough to translate the YouTube video for us. And he says it starts at about 33 seconds. And she speaks in Russian language, and she says this: "I don't know anything. I was sleeping. I woke up at 2:30 in the morning. There was such a noise. I spread my arms and felt the wallpaper hanging. I thought, what's going on? There was smoke in the house and there was dust from falling objects. I couldn't immediately understand what happened. My son asked, 'Mom, are you alive?' I said, 'I think I'm alive. What happened?' He asked. I said, 'Don't you see? There was an attack. The neighbor died. The other was transported to the hospital. I think the others are alive and well.' Not one word about Jehovah's Witnesses or her brothers and sisters or anyone helping her. So, this puts a big question mark, not only in our minds, but in RL's also. Is Jehovah's Witnesses, jw.org, using fake stories? We don't know. She may possibly be a Jehovah's Witness, but I find it interesting that it was neighbors helping her. It wasn't Jehovah's Witnesses. It wasn't her brothers and sisters. It was neighbors in this news piece, but yet jw.org exploits this story. And I think it's really sad that an elderly person has to endure a missile attack like this.
Well, at 2:30 in the morning, and
Yeah.
within minutes, Jehovah's Witnesses are coming to her. 2:30 in the morning. It's pitch dark, people.
Yeah.
Just don't think. They
Yeah.
just don't think, because it's so much easier to sensationalize all of this when it benefits Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same mechanism. A publishing company, now they're turning into a movie studio company, still disguising themselves as a religion.
Yeah. Now, if you watch the YouTube video, you will see that neighbors are bringing items of her belongings from her destroyed home and setting it behind her. This is what it says on jw.org. When the brothers arrived, they were speechless, okay? So they arrived immediately.
At 2:30 in the morning when it's pitch dark.
Yeah. Yeah. So the brothers and sisters were so scared and worried. Only when I saw that she was not severely injured, but just had some bruises, did I feel relieved. Amazingly, the first item Sister Olena wanted after her home was destroyed was the Bible literature that she had received a few days earlier.
How is this any different than opening up your freezer and you've shit canned all the food and you filled the freezer full of Watchtower literature? That's why you know this is Watchtower propaganda. That's why you know. Because nobody in their right mind is going to think twice about Watchtower literature than the most important thing. How do I survive the moment? You can't eat Watchtower literature. You could burn it for warmth at 2:30 in the morning, so maybe that's why she was so happy.
Yeah.
It's nothing but propaganda, people.
Yeah. So, like I said, you make up your own mind whether this is propaganda and manipulation. I mean, it's interesting that, she survives this missile strike and doesn't thank Jehovah. I mean, what an opportunity to give a witness if someone's recording an interview with you of what happened and you don't thank Jehovah for living through this. And,
Well,
you don't see a bunch of brothers and sisters mentioned.
well,
You don't even hear them mentioned.
let's just contrast this. I remember seeing some sort of award ceremony with Prince, and just before he walked off the stage, and I thank my God Jehovah, he did that when weren't even being bombed. But yet now you've got this Jehovah Witness that just survived a missile strike, and she can't thank Jehovah, but yet Prince did it in this award ceremony. Contrast it, people. It's just this simple.
Yeah. And towards the end of the JW.org article, they mentioned that this experience and how impressed they were by the care and the loving elders that, the care and love they provided. Wow.
It's really sad that those people in that part of the world are having to live through this.
Yeah.
It really is. We're not trying to make light of that. What we're trying to emphasize is that the Watchtower Bible Craft Society will go out of their way to make it look like their God Jehovah is blessing and protecting his chosen people. And that's not what's happening here.
Yeah, exactly. And, we're just trying to expose the propaganda and the manipulation because they tug at your heartstrings and emotions.
Yeah.
That's all these type of articles are for. Now, in editing this, I realized that we forgot to mention dates. There was a discrepancy on dates on this also. I guess now that we're getting older, we should make notes so we don't forget anything. Now, when you go to the Aris Massini's Twitter account, he has these photos, and it says the missile strike was on June 5th, 2022. When you go to jw.org and scroll down to the second paragraph, Sister Olena is 81 years old. On June 6th, a missile hit only a few meters from her home. The missile destroyed her neighbor's house, causing a crater 7 meters, about 23 feet deep. Now, I know it could just be an honest mistake, but if you're going to do a piece like this, at least get the date right. If you're going to use a photographer's photos, at least get his dates the same. I'm just saying, like I said, honest mistake, we all do it. But is Watchtower going to correct this mistake? We'll have to wait and see. And so like I said, you all make up your own mind. And there was one thing, speaking of getting help and manipulation, I want to thank Larchwood on Twitter. Interesting quote from Learn from the Great Teacher. Now, I want to remind everybody, this is a kid's book. This is the new kid's book. And this is what they are teaching children. Okay? Chapter 11. Help from God's Angels. And first they talk about Daniel being saved. The angels shut the mouths of the lions when he was thrown down in the pit. Well, when you go to page 65, and this was such a good find, we appreciate it, Larchwood.
Well, here again, this is the type of thinking that Kim and I have been trying to encourage this community to do for the past decade start to resonate up here. But the only way you can do that is to be able to remember what was previously read, previously stated, or previously saw with your eyes, and then remember this. Because if you don't remember it, you can't contrast it.
Yeah, and Larchwood has been putting some great quotes up on Twitter, and I appreciate it because how many know the history and will go back to this older literature?
You mean he's actually doing this without the mighty Cedars, the mighty Lloyd Evans prompted?
Yeah.
Imagine that, friends, what we can accomplish when we don't surrender to one ideology or one person telling us what to do, how to do it, and when to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So, going back to the great teacher, page 65, the second full paragraph. Can God's angels help us too? Yes, they can.
Yes.
So you're telling kids right there that God's angels can help you too. Does this mean that they will never let us get hurt at all? No.
It's very selective who they help.
Yeah. No, angels do not stop us from getting hurt if we do foolish things. So they try to clarify it. Well, if you're doing foolish things, angels aren't going to help you. And it was interesting because Larchwood put in post along with this quote, would this also include children being abused?
That's right.
If they're calling out to God for help, why aren't these angels coming and helping them? So imagine a child who is being, abused like this and reading this. That creates such a dichotomy in their minds.
It should cause the child to think, well, I must be in a foolish religion. Because, see, no, angels do not stop us from getting hurt if we do foolish things. So the hurt that is done with CSA and God does not send an angel, then you're obviously in a foolish religion.
But, unfortunately, children aren't going to think like
right.
that. And if they ask a parent, well, how come the angels aren't saving me? I'm sure they're going to get some BS explanation.
Well, yeah. So this really relegates all of this to the parents recognizing the foolishness of the Watchtower Babel Crap Society if your child is in this position and the angels are not helping them.
And kids are smart these days.
Of course they are.
They can see things and figure this out. But I'm going to go on. But even if we don't do foolish things, we may still get hurt.
What a dichotomy. What a contradiction.
Can God's angels help us too? Yes, they can. Well, how come the angels helped Paul, but they're not helping me?
Well,
you see?
You have one escaping prison, and you have the other one unable to escape CSA. Stop and think, Jehovah's Witnesses, what these idiots are writing and your children are reading.
Yeah. Going on. The angels are not told to keep this from happening. Instead, God has given them special work to do.
Special work. Yeah, what could be possibly more special than protecting a child?
Yeah.
What could be more special, Watchtower, than protecting a child?
Well, according to Let, they're enemies of God.
Well, that's right. So why bother protecting them? See?
Disgusting.
See? This is how insane, the amount of insanity that's encapsulated with Jehovah's Witnesses in your governing body. That's why this is so frustrating for me, because it's so damn obvious. All you got to do is read what they're writing.
Okay, so going over to page 66, paragraph at the top. An angel said, "Have no fear, Paul. You must stand before Caesar." Yes, Paul was to be taken to the world ruler Caesar. World ruler Caesar?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, world ruler. Yeah, Caesar was king of the world. One world government, nothing's changed.
so that Paul could preach to him. The angels always knew where Paul was, and they helped him. So they help him preach to Caesar and release him from prison, but they're not going to help the children?
It's because it's a
Do you
special
see
assignment.
the problem here? Okay? Going on. They will help us too if we really serve God. So there. If you really serve God, they will help you too. And then, like I said, this has got to create such a pretzel twisting mess in little kids' minds. Well, if you're getting abused, then you must not be serving God properly.
That's right.
You see that, what it plants? And I've talked to hundreds of abuse survivors. And guess what? They always feel like they were somehow to blame, like it was
Right.
their fault.
Because they read crap like this. And those little seeds are planted just like that seed that Let planted, that children are born enemies of God. That seed is going to grow and fester in the mind of that child.
Yeah, and I want to thank all of you for the emails and phone calls about that clip, because some who had left the XJW community and really didn't know what was going on in it, I've gotten phone calls from them saying, oh my God,
What the hell?
you know, I just watched that clip in your video, what Let said about enemies of God. And all of us agree. Right in their own Bible. Children are an inheritance from God. So how can an inheritance of God be an enemy also? What did that little child do to make him an enemy of God? Yeah, he may be born imperfect, but to use that phraseology is disturbing. And if we're all children of God, then how can we be enemies? Do you see the point? I mean, even as imperfect parents, if our kids do something, a sin, or a murder, or something like that, they're still not our enemy. They're our kids. We love them no matter what. No matter what they do. They are never our enemies. Even if they shun us, you know, our family, they're still not enemies. So this whole thing with Let is very disturbing.
Well, there again, it just shows that when it comes to the Watchtower Babble Crap Society, like certain sectors of our societies, it's a throwaway society. It's no good, just throw it away. Doesn't matter if there's a defect, throw it away. Doesn't matter if they're born an enemy of God, throw it away.
Yeah.
It's really sad that these governing body members are not resonating up here. They're actually resonating below ground level.
Yeah.
And it's so obvious.
Well, you were watching Jane Doe, XJW Jane Doe's video this morning, and I was listening to it here in my office, and she pretty much kicked the governing body's backsides, you know, proving that they are so wrong. They don't even know their own Bibles.
Well, that's the point. They pick and choose. But, you know, to sit and say at this point in time that the governing body don't know what they're doing, that's an absolute outright mischaracterization of Watchtower, because they know. Are you going to sit here and tell me that they didn't know that they were plagiarizing those photographs from what we showed earlier in the video? Yes, they did, because they got sued for it. Do you think that they don't know that they're changing the wording in their own Bible? Yes, they do. They know. So for anybody to sit here and say, well, they're just misled, I will categorically take you to task on that statement, and I'll shut the door on you, because these men know exactly what they're doing and who and what they are aligned with in the social structure on this planet. right now, because this society that encapsulates the entire globe is a throwaway society.
And if this Sister Olena really is a Jehovah's Witness, do you think she's going to contact jw.org and say, hey, you spelled my name wrong?
Yeah.
Or you got my story wrong? No, she's not. She's going to be like,
Yeah, look at me.
there must have been a mistranslation from Russian to English.
Yeah, but it's the same mechanism. It's all fake news. It's all fake stories. This day and age, especially when it comes out of the Watchtower and Babble Crap Society's mouth, you can't trust them any further than you can throw them. If they're willing to change the wording in the Bible, which is supposed to be the inerrant word of God, stop and think. If they had to change the word from transforms to, what's the word they're now using? Transform? Disguising. Then they're still changing the word of God. They're still changing the inerrant word of God, because going from transforming to disguising, then the word transform is obviously an error in words.
Oh, will you forget?
Do I?
Yeah, that Bible is copyrighted by them, so they can
True,
change
they can
whatever
do whatever
they want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, same thing with all the other Bible translations. They're copyrighted.
They're all
by that
copyrighted.
organization, so they can do whatever they want.
Exactly. And this is what people don't get.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you everybody for watching, and we hope that you will like and subscribe, and you have a wonderful week. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.